Welcome to the GreenLight Investor for the week ending September 18th, 2015. Our goal at the GreenLight Investor is to provide a resource to make managing your 401k both a simple and easy process. We do this by using red, green, and yellow cells in our worksheet to help you decide when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. This presentation is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as personal investment advice. The examples shown are exactly that. They're just examples of how you can use this worksheet to help make investment choices within your 401k plan. Please refer to your own investment policy to make sure that the choices you are making are appropriate for both your investment time horizon as well as your understanding and acceptance for taking on risk in financial markets. Let's go ahead and go right into our worksheet. On the left side of the worksheet, we have the investment choices that are available to you. At the top of the worksheet are the core investments, and as we scroll down, we'll go into our satellite investments, which are separated into the money market funds, fixed income funds, U.S. growth and income, U.S. equity funds, international funds, and the sector funds are at the bottom. The different columns are the fund number, the symbol, the fund name, and a brief description of the fund. Center section of the worksheet, we update the performance each week. We'll show you the closing price, month-to-date return, quarter-to-date, and the year-to-date return. This is important so you can keep track of how your investment choices are doing compared to the other investment choices that are available to you on the worksheet, as well as in each of the separate categories. Finally, we'll go to the right side, or the current weekly trends. This is what I think is the most unique and important portion of this worksheet, and it focuses around column U, which is the long-term trend for each of the funds, column V, which is the relative strength change on a week-over-week basis for each of the funds, and column W, which shows the week-over-week trend scores for each of the funds in your 401k. We'll keep track of a cumulative running total of how your funds are changing on a week-over-week basis. You'll see that when there's red cells, the funds are generally weak and not performing particularly well. When you see green cells on the right side of column V, you're generally seeing more strength in the overall markets. Aside from the red, green, and yellow cells that we show on this side, we also have a numerical value assigned each week to show the relative strength trend score for each of the funds in your 401k plan. When these numerical values are negative, the funds are generally weak, and when the funds are positive, you'll see green cells, and that means that the funds are generally performing or showing some strength. What's most important about the numerical values is looking at the trends and looking whether the numbers are getting stronger or weaker. As they become more positive, you're generally going to see the funds heading up in value, and as they become more negative, you're generally going to see weakness in the funds. This week we're seeing one of the interesting ways that you can use this is we're seeing the first week in quite a while when we're seeing these numbers actually get stronger. Even though they're still negative, they're higher in absolute value than they were on a week-over-week basis. So that may be a positive sign for the markets, and it's an early warning signal to show that we may be getting some strength in our markets. You'll have to see a couple of weeks to really find out if the trend develops. As we scroll down, we'll see this is a general trend. We're seeing some green lights, and we're also seeing generally the numbers are getting more or less negative than they were the previous week. As we scroll down, we're seeing actually a couple of cells that are green to the left, and we have two green cells to the right. That generally indicates that it's okay to purchase this fund if you're looking to allocate assets to this category. In general, we'll wait to see two green cells appear on the right, and we like to see either a yellow or a green cell on the left. When we see that situation, it's generally okay to buy funds. Last week we pointed out when we saw the first green light appear that aggressive investors could go ahead and start to buy a little bit early. As we see two green cells appear, that generally gives us the green light to go ahead and allocate if it's appropriate for our investment policy. As we scroll down on the international funds, we're still seeing a lot of red, but on the short-term trend, we are seeing somewhat of a change. So we may start to see more and more positive trends coming up. We'll wait and see. And as we go down to the final, the sector funds, we're again seeing one green light to the left of column V, and we're seeing the two green cells, which indicate that this fund would be okay to purchase. We're also seeing a few green cells start to appear again, so we'll look again next week and see if there's going to be more strength. Right now, the funds that we're seeing that are giving us the okay to purchase are the healthcare, and as we scroll up, we'll see that we're looking at the T. Rowe Price Blue Chip Growth Fund, which is showing a bullish sign as a long-term trend, as well as week-over-week relative strength increases. So with that said, I hope that gives you a little information how you can use the red, green, and yellow cells in the current weekly trends to see which funds are performing stronger and which ones are the weaker funds. Generally, this will only take a few minutes to go through each week for you to be able to identify funds that are strengthening and ones that are weakening. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can use this information to actually allocate assets within your 401k plan. To go to our asset allocation column or section of the worksheet, we'll click on View. Let's go to Custom Views, and then we'll click on My Current Allocation. We'll click Show, and right now we have target of 100% allocation, and our current portfolio shows 100% allocation. And as you notice, we have 100% allocation to the money market fund, and we currently have 100% of our capital in the money market fund. But with two green lights that we saw on two of the funds, we're going to go ahead and see how we can start to reallocate capital back into these funds. So the first fund that we're going to do is we're going to take 10%, and that'll leave 90% in the money market. And let's go down and find where that, here's where we had this. So let's go ahead and move this one over to 10% allocation of the 30 that we would like to have. If we see funds turn green next week, we may add another 10% to the next fund, or we might even decide that if this is staying strong, to add another 10% to this fund. And let's go back here, and we had one other fund that was showing green lights. So this will take our money market fund down to 80%. And let's go ahead and see which fund it was again that had the two green lights. Here we went down here. This was the healthcare funds. We have the two green lights that are showing relative strength on a week-over-week basis, as well as a bullish long-term trend. We'd like to have a 15% allocation into this group of sector funds. So what we'll do with this first fund is let's take that 10% that we took out of the money market, and we'll put that into the sector fund called the U.S. Healthcare Fund. Those are the only two funds that we're showing buy lights at this point. So what we'll do is we'll go through the same process next week, take a look, see if we're seeing some more green lights appear. If so, we'll be adding capital and starting to allocate our funds back into the market. And if we do see red lights appear, then we may be going back into money market. But this shows a way that you can use the green light system to help allocate assets within your 401k and make investment choices based on a simple set of rules. That's what I've got for this week. I hope it's been helpful. Let's go ahead and go right back to our core worksheet. If you'd like to get a copy of this worksheet, so you can go through and learn how to use it for your own 401k investment choices, you can go to our website at greenlightinvestor.org. You can email me if you'd like to get a copy emailed to you each week. Or you can just go on to YouTube, and we also have a YouTube channel where you can watch the week-over-week presentations. I hope it's been helpful and gives you some ideas and some resources for managing your 401k. If you'd like to find out more, you can send me an email and I'd be happy to spend a little time and go over this or answer any email questions that you may have on how you can use this worksheet to help allocate your 401k assets for your own plan. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a great week.